So what's up, gamers? Today I'm just gonna make a video explaining what I think are the issues with Ark Survival Ascended's PvP scene, and if there are any ways that it could potentially be fixed, or there are things they can change with the game to make it more enjoyable for people who are playing it. So the first part that I'm going to go over is issues they can fix with dinosaurs. The first issue that I've got is that Carchars are kind of nowhere near as fun to use in large-scale PvP. I don't know about smalls. I'm speaking from a 1x perspective, as Gigas were in ASE. There's currently no trade-off when using them due to the way they work, like Gigas were, or like Gigas had. Obviously, Gigas had high DPS, but then you could get raged and get killed, which just made them so balanced. It was such a balanced dino. There was a huge trade-off. You could kill someone, but if there was a rhino around the corner, you got raged and you died. And it was the same in a Giga fight. It wasn't this whole, you have to kill the person's Carchar. Instead of that, you had, Gigas run up to each other, and it's basically whoever rages loses. And that, well, it maybe took a bit. The skill's probably about the same, but it's a lot better, I feel, and I know a lot of other people feel the same way. The ways they could fix this, obviously, you could just remove Carchars, but again, they're not going to do that, and I don't see why you should. There are obviously PvE people that like Carchars, and they're still a cool dinosaur. So maybe we should make them less or not as good as Gigas. So Gigas are still better, but then there's times when a Carchar might be better to use, but if you're using large-scale PvP, then a Giga is better. Ways you could nerf Carchars would be basically just nerfing the stacks. You can make so they don't gain HP when they bite and do damage, and you can also take down their damage. And you can also just take down their base stats, which would help, I guess. The next dino I'm looking at is the Dreds. So there is a quality of life patch coming out later today, which could fix these issues, but I think I'm still going to include them because I have a feeling they will approach these issues, but it probably won't be enough. I think they don't understand how overpowered they are at the moment, because it doesn't look like most of the devs play the game. But Dreds basically make pushing towers impossible. They need an HP nerf, a damage nerf, and their knockback needs nerfing quite heavily. I mean, they're hitting 1.2k, million HP at the moment, which is just stupid for any dinosaur. So that just needs fixing, like ASAP. And then obviously the knockback, stupidly overpowered, and the damage. So all round, dinosaur just needs to be taken aback a bit. Some other people have, this isn't my opinion, but I've been told by the people that maybe lightning wyverns could be nerfed back to what they were in ASE. I think that would be a good change. They are pretty overpowered at the moment. If you go sex suiting and you see a lightning wyvern, you basically just have to run, unless you're going to try punch it, but at that point you've probably got 4 on you, which is just cringe. I've put the Pyromains need a damage reduction, which I think is a really good point. As well as their flame needs nerfing. By that I mean that the flame stack size needs decreasing. Currently you can't out-heal the flame, and if let's say you haven't paid for the Bob's Tales DLC, you don't have the extinguisher grenades, so you're basically just dead as soon as it bites you. And their damage has got so high that they basically one-tap you. Currently they're worse than Shadowmains were, which is kind of ridiculous to say because they were stupidly overpowered. Then a way you could basically fix all these issues, or not fix them but make them better, would be to take the stat caps back down to what they were on ASE. I'm not really sure why it was changed, because the breeding was actually not bad. I thought it was done the correct way, and I think lots of people did. I understand that maybe you want breeders to have more to do, but yeah, you need to take down the stat cap. It's stupidly high at the moment. You should take it maybe back to ASE or even lower down, because making dinos less overpowered would make fights last longer, which I guess keeps people more interested for longer. And then I've kind of gone on to another game. These are some game issues not based on dinosaurs. The first one I've got is bringing back Gaint Hatchframes. I think this would help server performance as well as structure caps, because currently people are still doing the same method they would have done with a Gaint Hatchframe, but they're doing it with fences or double door frames, which just makes rendering a tower take forever. It makes the server more laggy. Makes your structure cap stupidly high, which is just not needed. So bringing back giant hatchframes, I think, is just a huge thing that needs to happen. I don't know why they were removed, because they were like one of the most used structures, I reckon. So yeah, that would be a nice addition. I've also put needing a cryo fridge to pop dinos. This is like the main issue, I think, for everyone who quits. Like, obviously the dinos are overpowered, but this is the next thing. Having this makes it so you can't grief caves, basically. You can't grief wipe an island ice, because they can place a structure in range of their turret wall, and then you can't pop a stego into it. So you can't pop a you can't pop a thylo close enough to start bleeding all their dinos. So that's that's a big thing, and it also made spamming a whole server really overpowered. I mean, my server 2159 is fully spammed, so no one can place a cryofish on the beach, and that is stupid. No one can grief us, which is dumb, unless they go fly into the water, or they go and they blow the spam, which is dumb. You having to blow spam to grief someone is dumb. The next note I've got is small TPs should be removed. I think they're a really cool concept, but they've basically made fobbing other servers in small rat holes possible, which I think is dumb. The fact that you can take a rat hole that is being able to be held by one person, and then the tribe can't do anything about it, just kind of takes away the fun of defending your server. When people had like a cool land base you had to push, like an ASE, it was fun. When your server got fobbed, you were hyped for it. You were like, oh yeah, I get to defend my server, and I get to go push someone, and I don't have to worry about loot because I've got it all here. But now it's like, oh no, someone's just fobbed in a rat hole, and now I've got to spend 2 weeks pushing it, or I've got to make tickets to try to get the rat hole devved, because most of the time these rat holes are Pelagornis rat holes, or rat holes that you can't walk into because of the way they've placed turrets. And obviously expecting every rat hole to be patched is just dumb, because people will find new ones or new spots that they can build in. So I think the easiest thing to do is just to remove small TPs. I would personally also say to remove medium TPs and just go back to the TP sides that we had on ASE. I think TPs worked really well, because you got the benefit of being able to teleport around the map, but then obviously they were so big that you couldn't put them in a small spot. So you can only teleport to big places, or you'd have to build a massive outside TP, which then people could fob. Which brings me quite nicely to my next point. You need to find a way to make people build outside stuff, because currently not many tribes have outside stuff, which makes it so fob targets are non-existent unless you're going to try wipe the server, which kind of takes away the fun of PvP. Because griefing, some people don't just want to grief all day, and most people don't just want to sit on their home server and wait to be griefed. Some other people have told me this would be a cool system. I think it's been asked for before, and the odds of it happening is stupidly low. But making a report system in the official Ark Discord, or an official Discord to report in, would be nice, like Conquest had. Conquest did it really well. You could get responses from enforcement devs when they're online super quickly. So that would be nice. Obviously, Conquest had its own problems. But yeah, or you could just fix the response times online. Obviously, this has been said many times before, so I'm not the first person to say it, and I won't be the last. And then finally, for other game issues, I've got damage traits. I think they should just be removed. They're pretty dumb. Like, Fabbies were... Most things that have damage traits were already pretty good. I mean, it's like they didn't need touching. It didn't make a whole lot of sense adding that type of thing. The traits are cool, but it's just ones that do damage only really help cheaters, which is going to bring me quite nicely on to the cheating points I have. Cheating is the worst it's been in the game ever. That's on ASE and ASA. I think there are a lot of ways you could help fix the issue. You're never going to be able to fully fix cheating, but there are definitely ways you will stop it from happening. One of these main ways could be adding server-side checks. I think a really great example of this is Mesa on ASE. I think loads of them have it, but I've played Mesa and I've seen it happen. But like some features on cheats, if you do them on Mesa, you'll just get instantly banned. That's like speed hack, unlock all notes, and other like things like that. You just get instantly banned. Which if they can do it on an ASE Deddy server, I don't understand why it can't be done on the official servers. And then another way you could it probably won't fix cheating, but it might make it harder and bring down all the cheats for a while, is by just switching from BattleEye. You know, you just said, oh, I'm going to switch anti-cheats every 6 months, and then the cheat devs have to think about making different bypasses each month, or every 6 months, or you just find a different anti-cheat because clearly BattleEye isn't working, like Vanguard or Easy Anti-Cheat, or another one that I don't know of. Meshing is obviously also terrible at the moment. I think it's hard to fix. People will always find a way to mesh, so this is probably just an issue where you have to make the reports reaction a lot quicker, because there's no point getting a response on a meshing ticket if your base is already gone and you're not going to roll back the server. So, but a way you could help fix meshing is by making ziplines respect foundation claim. Currently they don't, so if you wanted to, let's say, mesh an island ice using a zipline method, you could just place the zipline above the island ice, and what are they going to be able to do? I mean, it's like, yeah, if you just made it respect foundation claim, they'd have to blow all the spam around it, or they wouldn't be able to do it. And then also, just a good way of deterring cheating would be harsher and more frequent dev wipes for cheating and duping. Duping is a big issue on the game at the moment, especially RTM. Obviously, you can't be too harsh, because obviously people will raid bases and get dupe loot, but I think there definitely has to be a line. And then finally, I've got the cheaters that cheat in YouTube videos in their main tribe, or on characters that are in their main tribe, and then nothing happens to them. Like, it's just they've uploaded proof of themselves cheating, and then the character isn't banned. Like, I'm gonna expose myself slightly here, but to do a test, we uploaded a video of someone cheating to Ark. We said, this is me cheating, here is my account info, here is the video of me cheating, and that ticket was closed, and they said there was an investigation going on, and that account is still not banned today. Just I don't understand how that works. I sent a video of that account cheating, I showed the implant in the video, and that account still isn't banned. And that was when I was in Woo Woo, so that was over a year ago, which is just crazy to me. And the prime example that I'm using now is the current King video. King is probably one of the best cheats on the market right now, and lots of people use it. But in the current video, there's 2 characters, human level 101, and Mackin from DO is meshing my server 2159's Ice Cave and aimbotting us. And that character is in main tribe on 2397, and nothing's happened to them. Obviously it's a new video, but it would be nice if that could be looked at. So basically, in conclusion, these are all the points I'm going to list. That is nice and easy. I'll include a list in the description, and please let me know if there's anything else that you feel should have been included in this, and I'll maybe make a part 2. I'll probably make a part 2 anyway after the patch comes out, because they might fix some of these issues or cause new ones, which it would be typical. But basically, so need to nerf Carchars, Dreds, Lightning Wyverns, Pyromains, and bring all the stats of dinosaurs back to the original ASE caps. They should bring back Gaint Hatchframes and put the cryopods back to what they used to be in ASE. I feel that Spawn TP should be removed, and that then maybe they could add a report system into the official Ark Discord, and damage traits should be reworked or removed. And then, so cheating needs to be looked at, possible anti-cheat chains and server-side checks. Meshing needs to be looked at, with the main thing of that being ziplines respecting foundation claims, which would help stop most of the issues. And there should be harsher and more frequent dev wipes against tribes that are cheating and duping. Thank you very much for listening to what I had to say. I hope you found it interesting. Obviously this is all my opinion, and you can disagree with me if you want. If you do, just let me know in the comments. I'd appreciate you sharing the video, so hopefully we can get lots more people to see it, and maybe one of the devs can see it and take it into regard when they're doing their next quality of life patch.